Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the fact that Bitcoin has just formed a pi cycle cross, which has historically been close to the bottom in the bear market. So if you're new to the channel and you want to show some support, please do leave a like and subscribe. So first, quick disclaimer, I am not the creator of this indicator, but I do want to talk about it on this channel. I think it has some pretty important relevance when looking at the bear markets because we've seen the pi cycle cross predict these bottoms as well as the tops, which I'll talk about here in a few moments. But first, let's focus on the topic at hand. We have just seen a pi cycle cross. If I zoom in here, these two moving averages have crossed. So the red moving average is coming below the green one. So the red moving average is actually the 150-day simple moving average, and then the green moving average is going to be the 471-day moving average multiplied by an arbitrary constant, which in this case is 0.745. So again, it is pretty obscure of a formula to predict the bear market bottoms, but it does work. And actually, if we go back to the prior bear markets, we can see in 2015, this one crossed about on January 12th, and the absolute bottom was on January 14th. So it was definitely within a few days, so very good job by the pi cycle indicator. If I scroll all the way up to 2018, we can see how the pi cycle indicator crossed. If I zoom in all the way here, we can see it almost called it to the day. I believe it was 1 day off, but still a phenomenal region. And ultimately, we do have a pi cycle cross coming in here just on this daily close. So it will be interesting to see if we start to form a lower low, because obviously we can't have the bottom be within a few days, since the bottom in place was approximately 26 days ago. So I do think that this has some merits in the bear market bottom. Obviously, it doesn't have to be the exact bottom, and from a time-based perspective, I still think we have quite a while to go before we ultimately start trending back up to new all-time highs. But in general, I do think this is a pretty phenomenal region to accumulate for the long term, considering we are at a pretty significant drawdown from the all-time high. I've gone over plenty of videos on my bottom prediction series, going over specific indicators that also have some confluence to this area and why this might be potentially a great accumulation zone. So actually, I do want to switch this over to the pi cycle top indicator, and this is actually going to be a different indicator. This is, instead of the 150-day simple moving average and the 471 simple moving average, this is the 350 simple moving average multiplied by 2, and then the 111 moving average. So again, pretty arbitrary numbers, and the reason it's called a pi cycle indicator is because if you divide 350 by 111, you get a number that's really close to pi, and if you divide 471 by 150, you also get 3.14, so pretty close to pi, and that's kind of how these were named. Now we can see how this actually called the top in April of 2021, almost to the day here. It was pretty much talked about a little bit, but some people were saying how it was brute force and it wasn't going to be very effective because it was created after the fact, right? It was basically an indicator that was created, and people saw, okay, it predicted the prior tops, so why not the next one? And it actually did work out. So it is definitely interesting to see, and I will be excited to see how this plays out going into the next few months if this is relatively close to the bottom. We can also see how the pi cycle top indicator almost to the day, once again, it's pretty spectacular, called the top here in 2013, as well as this mini top blow off top phase in earlier on in 2013. So overall, I do expect this to be a phenomenal region to accumulate, pi cycle cross or not. I think it's a great region, and ultimately the pi cycle is just another tool in your arsenal you can add, and just ultimately, if you think this has merits, obviously that's great. But again, just one more indicator to add to our toolbox when analyzing Bitcoin from the longer term perspective. So that's the end of my analysis. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you have any comments, suggestions, or feedback, please do leave those below, and as always, I will see you in the next one.